Welcome to What's a Beautiful Life Anyway? I'm your host, Jill Bennett. This is the channel that shares ideas to help you live your best life, because life can be beautiful if you live consciously. Welcome to this week's edition of What's a Beautiful Life. To live your best and most beautiful life, you need to feel well, be at ease in your body and comfortable in your life. My guest for this episode is Anna Publico Ong, and she has a blog called The Live Well Diary. Hi, Anna.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Anna and I have known each other, oh my goodness, it must be at
A
least
long
10
time.
years, mustn't it?
Maybe over 10 years now.
Yeah. So we met at a ladies' networking group in London, and we're both members of the same networking group now, but in Bristol, and I join them remotely. Well, so do you, because you're in
Yes,
Edinburgh, which
I'm in Edinburgh and you are in
I'm in Mallorca.
America.
So we have a very international episode today. Now, Anna, you've got so many strings to your bow, and your main business is Picodeliq, which is a full service agency providing many things: consultancy, training, graphic design, web development, application development, and I'm sure lots of other things. How did you get started?
So my first degree, basically my background is pretty much in technology. So I graduated in computer science a long time ago. And then after that, I was asked to join a company, which is an IT consulting firm called Unisys. And basically we design and develop, solutions for multinationals and corporates. So it's pretty much a good progression for me to start up this business. And also, while I was working for another company in terms of like the IT department, I was doing my MBA. So that's the other reason why I wanted to start off a company. And I kind of like that idea as well of starting starting something different, that you've actually built from scratch. So that's what made me start it.
Yeah, and you've been really successful, haven't you? I mean, the company, how long has the company been going for now?
It's been around since 2006. It's hard going. I wouldn't say it's an easy ride, but it's been around since 2006. So it's been a long
Yeah,
time.
that's amazing. And I've seen some of the websites that you've developed, and they are always very, they're excellent websites. They're really good. So
Thank you.
if anyone out there is looking for a website, Anna is your girl. But let's move on then to your new blog. So the Live Well Diary. Why did you choose to blog about health and wellness?
Well, I was doing as you mentioned, I was doing my own business, and I've been working quite a bit, like the normal. So I've been probably working 10, 12-hour days. And at one point, I almost burnt out and I got very ill. So I have to take 2 years off from my work. So it was like my husband is the one working in the company. So in that time, I thought, um, this is not the life I want to lead. And the blog is sort of something like a therapy for me to actually tell people how to be happy in your life. It's not only about work, and it's not only about, um, certain, like specific um, career and that sort of thing. There's other things that you have to consider to be happy and to be well. And definitely, for me, health, having been off for 2 years because of medical, um, health has been a focus for me now.
Yeah,
Because without it, you cannot do anything else. You need
no.
to be healthy to be able to work. You need to be healthy to be able to be happy with your relationships. Um, and also, if you're not well, it does affect your mental health as well. Um, so that's why I started this blog. It's just because it's sort of like a therapy for me to write about the things that makes me happy and the things that I've done, or my journey, sort of.
Yeah.
in a way. And I hope some of the articles that I will write, and I still have a lot of articles I haven't posted, would help people as well
Oh, I'm
with that.
sure they will. I'm sure they will. And it's amazing, isn't it, how many people start up their own business and actually work harder than they did do when they worked for a company, because it's your baby and you want to be successful, you want to get it right. But we all know that we have to take care of ourselves. So I think it's a great topic to cover. I know your blog covers 5 essential areas that we all need to live our best life. Health and wellness, financial well-being, mental well-being, spiritual well-being, and relationships. Maybe we can go through each one of those at a time, and you can tell us, what we can look forward to in them, but also if you've got any stories about things that happened to you that maybe are relevant to those areas that made you look at them. Shall we start off with health and wellness?
Yeah, sure. So the health and wellness section is basically some tips, and not really advice, but some tips and some hacks that we can do to be more to live healthier lives. One of the mainly one of the main focus of the blog is this one. It's just because when I was recovering, I was doing quite a few things so that I can recover quickly. So, for example, I've actually done a lot of consultancy for. I asked someone, a nutritionist, to help me out so that I can be more. I don't feel so tired during treatments and that sort of thing. So I would post things like that in the blog later on as well. Some of the things that I've done to make sure that everything's still, I don't feel too tired and that sort of thing. And also, besides nutrition, there's also exercise. So when I was recovering from surgery, I had to go through like some different exercises. So that will also come in to be in the blog, some tips and hacks in terms of the health and wellness as well. So basically, for the health and wellness, we'll concentrate more on nutrition and also physical and exercise, because I think that's quite important.
Yeah, and both of them, it always, you think it's a bit counterproductive that when you're tired you should exercise, but actually it works really, really well that you get out and exercise, and actually within a few weeks of doing that you'll actually find you've got a lot more energy than you had before. So it's really important. Brilliant. Another really key one, financial well-being.
Oh yes. So I'm writing quite a lot of this now because I feel like I said, it's sort of like a therapy for me. So what I'm feeling at the moment, that's the one I'm writing.
Yeah.
So I've got like a lot of like financial blog posts that will be coming up. Like, for example, budgeting is major. How do you handle business finances will be coming up as well. And one of the posts that I've actually written recently is about the financial issues and depression. There's a big correlation to that, because at the end of the day, we're experiencing sort of like a crisis at the moment, and a lot of people will be in that state. So hopefully it could, my blog could help, just not really advice, but bits and pieces to help people out. Yeah, it's all about money and how to what to do if you're in a certain financial situation, that sort of thing. That's quite critical at the moment.
No, but that is it is very critical at the moment, isn't it, with the whole credit crunch and everything else that's going on. It's very very topical at the moment. And I think financial well-being affects every area of your health. If you're worrying about money, you can't sleep. If you're worrying about money, it can cause issues in your relationship, because you may argue or fight over money. It can lead to mental illness. There's so many ways that it can affect you. And I know if ever I'm really worried about something, I turn to food I wouldn't normally eat, less healthy
that's right.
food. So
and also I feel like when you don't have a good financial well-being, you won't be able to do the things that you're passionate about. So if you want to do, like, for example, you love skiing in the Alps, you won't be able to do that. So you feel sad and you feel like, oh, I can't do this. And then in a way, it affects your mental health as well. It's
Yeah.
just because, like the things that you love, you cannot do. So,
Yeah, the things that make you happy, you all of a sudden you feel you shouldn't do them because
yeah,
you want to put the money somewhere else. Yeah, no, that's right. And obviously a big one in all of this is mental well-being, which again is a really, really topical subject because so many people, and I mean technology. Funnily enough, I'm listening to a book at the moment. Can I remember the title? It's called, let me just find it. It's called Time and How to Spend It, and it's by a guy called
yeah.
Wallman. And there's a huge section in that on technology and the iPhone and all the things that drag people in. I mean, there's some case studies he talks about in there of very young people who have had literally breakdowns because of social media and everything else. So
and the pressure as well to be someone else, not yourself. And I think that's quite critical. Does affect like a lot of mental well-being.
Yeah, maybe you should write a blog. He has a questionnaire in the book, and it asks you. It's trying to say how addicted you are to your phone. And you answer all these questions on a scale of 1 to 5, and I was very pleased to see I wasn't in the lowest category, but I was just in the one above that, and it said I hadn't got too many problems. But you can see, can't you, so many people who and if funnily enough, there was a journalist, wasn't there, once, who spoke to Steve Jobs when he first invented the iPad and said to him, oh, I bet your kids love this. And he said, my kids have never tried it. We limit all their social media, all their online time. So it shows that they are well aware. There's another great book by a guy called B.J. Fogg, who writes all about Atomic Habits. Have you read that one?
Yeah.
And
I've read. I have that in my Audible.
Yeah, it's really good, really, really good. And he worked for a lot of the Silicon Valley companies because he knows all about how to introduce things that then become a habit for people.
Yeah.
And luckily, he's now doing things that help you with healthy habits rather than habits to get you addicted to your phone. So yeah, mental well-being is really, really good. Yeah, what else? Spiritual well-being.
Yeah, spiritual well-being. This one is more to do with meditation and all of those things that we also need, because some people, they have their own religion and everything. So everyone believe in something, whether it's a higher power, God, or whatever. So this is not only dedicated to one religious, aspect, but it's like across the board. So I'll be talking more about our personal beliefs as well. In this one, a lot of meditation, mindfulness, and that sort of thing. Because like for me, what made me go through, make sure that I was okay, was mindfulness and meditation, or else I wouldn't have, I would be like so depressed at the moment, having gone through like the 2 years of being very ill. But those are the things that I've actually used. So I'll be talking more about those as well in this section.
And meditation, I mean, I meditate most days, and I think in the probably 11, 12 years I've been doing that, I'm so much more calmer. I literally, my resting heart rate is so low. And I think generally, okay, I exercise as well, but generally I'm a really calm person. My husband might disagree with that, but most other people,
yes, you are calm.
The only person I ever get cross with is him, but there we are.
And you're quite right. Normal.
Yeah, that's quite normal. And you're right, it's not about religion. It's about, we all believe in something, our higher power, the universe, whatever it is. And it's a really, really important topic. I think more and more people are becoming aware.
Yeah, and not many people are writing about it as well, because but I always feel that it's really part of us living well. So it's all about your values, all about your beliefs, but it's not there's not many as what you in terms of like posts and articles. You can get quite a lot in health and wellness and financial and mental health, but not so much in spiritual if you have a look at it.
Yeah.
That's
And
why so I
our
really
belief,
want to touch on that one.
yeah, our belief systems in our subconscious mind are the things, it's like our computer program, isn't it?
Hmm.
If you, oh gosh, a really basic one is if you, in your family, no one's ever earned more than a certain level in a year, and you believe that you never could either because no one in your family
Yeah,
has, that's part of your belief system, and you're never going to
yeah.
move beyond that unless you work on it. Yeah. Oh no, brilliant, brilliant topic to cover. And finally, the fifth area is relationships, which again, very, very key, aren't they, for life?
Yeah, it's very topical at the moment as well because of all what's happening out there. But what when I started this section, I was thinking about, like activities for the family and for your, like things like that I wanted to put in. But also a couple of weeks ago, was it last week? I spoke to my mom and we discussed about like relationship and how, like if you are in a dire strait, it's your family that will help you. So I thought, yeah, maybe that would be a good thing that I could write in and put it there as well. So I think I've written something recently about family wherein if you lose your job, how do you tell your family? So that sort of thing. Because my mom gave me that idea. I said that's part of the relationship as well.
Yeah.
Like part of a blog post that you can write. So yes, I wanna do something like that. A few of those topics.
Yeah,
Um,
because you're
so
right. There's relationship, obviously, the key relationships in your life with your partner and your children and your family.
mhm.
But then there's relationships at work. There's relationship with yourself,
Yeah,
which goes back to,
yeah,
really looking after yourself and making sure, if you don't look after you and you're so busy looking after everyone else, no one's going to benefit really. Either way,
yeah.
it's
So basically, the complete name of this one, because it doesn't fit, it's not only relationship, but it's the relationships and social well-being. But it's so long, so let's just use relationships as the topic. But it's actually a social well-being as well as like
yeah.
so
Which is
social
great
element
because
of life.
one of the stories in that book, Time and How to Spend It, um, they talk about this. I think he was 14, this 14-year-old boy who went to a new school and was really trying to fit in. And there's an incredible story in there about how much he tried too hard to fit in and
Mm.
really struggled, and it was a bit of a disaster in the end, and he ended up changing schools. But yeah, it's the whole, I think with children today, the whole relationship thing is a bit too flawed, because I always like to think of everybody being nice to everybody and kind to everybody, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And especially with social media, young
Yeah.
people post a picture up and get all sorts of horrible negative comments on it. So yeah, it's a really, really key topic.
I remember someone telling me, or was it something I've read, that it seems like that we're more interconnected now, but we're lonelier than ever.
Yeah.
Um, which is true because you we're very connected in terms of technology. You can see what people are eating, you can see what people are doing, but it's very superficial. It's not really deep. Um, so yeah, so this one is more to do with that as well, this section.
Oh, that's good.
um
That's good. Yeah, you need to.
my mom will be helping me. She
uh,
was saying, I'm just gonna give you some topics in this area, like, okay. So she's gonna write me some topics for the relationship
that's perfect. That's
element. So
perfect. I think everybody, I feel really lucky that I have a group of girlfriends. Well, two different, I've got loads of groups of girlfriends, but two in
yeah.
particular. One, we've been friends since the early 80s, and the other one, we've been friends since the sort of mid 80s when I moved to London. And we still meet up regularly. So there's a core group of about 8 of us. and we literally are always talking to each other. If someone's got a problem, we're there to help. And, you know, we go away for weekends, we have a really good laugh. And I think that's so good for you to have that group that you can talk about
Correct, yeah.
anything to, rather than bottle it up. Because I know here in Mallorca, there's lots of people who move out and I didn't know anyone really, not anyone really well when I moved out here, but I set up a ladies social group. We've now got over 60 members.
Wow.
And we just
That's
go
a
off and do lunches and wine tours.
it's so nice to like do wine tours there and lunches. I
It's a
love
tiny,
Mallorca. It's very cool.
it's lovely, isn't it? It's a tiny island, and we literally have 40 vineyards on the island.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
Yeah.
perfect life.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. Friends are quite crucial. I was lucky as well, because I went to an all-girls school ever since I was like 5 years old until about 16 before I went to uni. So a lot of my friends, I've known them since we were children. I think one of them I known since I was like 5 years old, and in high school, I think we are like 12 or 13. We've been friends since then and until now. So yeah, I think having those stable relationships are quite good as you grow up and grow old as well, I would say.
Yeah, we all joke. I mean, you know, we're all sort of around 60 now, and we all joke about how, you know, in years to come, we'll still be there having a glass of wine and having a laugh. And and it's lovely to have those groups. There's so much we can do to improve our health and wellness, but lots of people, and I see this all the time because I'm in health and wellness, they continue to suffer with health conditions, so many of which could dramatically be improved with just a few tweaks to their diet and their lifestyle. Why do you think so many people ignore the health education that's out there?
I think like for me, the main thing is that they are so busy. So busy in their lives, busy in their business, that actually health takes the back seat among all other things. But it should be the other way around, or else they won't be able to do the things that they're doing at the moment. But I think that's the thing. The busyness of modern life is the main reason of why I think they forget about health. And also, I think it's like a society where everything is on 24/7, because social media is 24/7. So it does, like I said, it's like so busy. Social media, socials everywhere. It's like always on. So I think that's why it takes like the back seat most of the time.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? Because anyone listening who has no energy or, you know, is always tired, there is so much just by tweaking your diet. Do you think that some people are just simply overwhelmed with the amount of information and the amount of things that they've got?
Yeah, I think I think it is true. There's a lot of like information that are out there. Most of it are noise anyway. But there's a lot of those. I think I can remember it's like millions a year that you see, like objects and articles and things like that, one person see in a year. So yeah, we're bombarded with a lot of information all the time, every single day.
And some of
So
it,
I would super surprised, overwhelming.
yeah, some of it is conflict. I know because I've got an autoimmune condition, I really have to be careful with my diet, and I have to exercise, I have to get enough sleep. But I will see something. Someone sent me a podcast the other day, and it was all talking about autoimmune and gut health and everything else. And everything in it was everything I'd read before, and I agreed with it. But then you'll see something where they say, oh, actually, you should do this. And you think, okay, which should I do? You know, there's so much to see. It's really difficult. I mean, I would just say to people, try one thing. And if it works and it continues to work, stay with it. And yeah. Do you think that oh no, sorry, we've covered that. I'm looking at my questions and repeating them. blogging on your site. So I'd love to do a blog. Maybe I could cover how not to get overwhelmed at Christmas or something. Or
yes, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
I'll write that for you. But maybe if there's anyone else listening who would like to blog on anything, they can get hold of you, Anna.
Yes, they can get hold of me. I'm on almost all the social media channels. If they go to my website, I can be contacted there as well. All the details are all in there. Then just send me a message.
Brilliant. And then also you're happy to guest blog on anyone else's.
I'm happy to guest blog. Yes. So I can do guest blogging in terms of like technology, and also with in terms of live well diary as well.
Yeah. And Anna is brilliant at technology, because I've seen a few presentations from her in networking groups. So yeah, what Anna doesn't know about technology isn't worth knowing. So she'd be really good to blog on that subject as well. Anna, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice today, besides subscribing to your blog, and I'll be putting all the notes and your contact details in the show notes, what would you say? What would your advice be?
Well, my advice would be, and I think I've just said it as well, or sort of like, emphasize it, is health is wealth, because that's the most important thing now. I think for me is making sure that I'm healthy so I can do the things I love. So that's the main thing. So that's what I want to leave everyone thought. Make sure that to be healthy and take care of your health all the time.
Brilliant. Anna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much too.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Check out all the links to the resources mentioned in today's episode and all my freebies in the show notes. See you next time.